Hello, my impatience. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here. I am live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. How art thou? How art thou, my impatience? I hope you will join and engage with me. I hope you will come filing in momentarily because that's what I like. I like when my impatients watch me. I'm voyeuristic, I'm exhibitionistic. I like getting watched, quite frankly. So I'm going to share with you the artwork I created with Mi Madre yesterday, because I don't think I've shared it yet. We'll start with this one here. Pizza Pasta says, "What's up, big dog? Not much." Oh, oh, oh. So this one is about Otto Greenberg, who's a low-functioning mental patient who's based on me at times. He's about to perform comedy, and he's anxious, and he says, "Tonight is my big night. Everyone is having fun but me. I am hiding in my car." You know, Otto gets into the comedy club, and he performs, and he says, "I am too introverted for comedy. I am so scared and timid." After a horrible performance, he said, "I felt horrible after isolating in a poor performance. Run away!" And Dr. Natural says, "You may be a little too introverted for comedy, but you got out of the house." Somebody wants to know why I gave Otto Greenberg Greenberg's last name. Well, it's based on Joanne Greenberg, who apparently has schizophrenia and lived in a fantasy world. So Greenberg comes from Joanne Greenberg from the novel I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. This one. Someday I'll have true love, but right now I'm alone. An incel. Lonely. No love. My dream woman is not real. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. About, I want a girlfriend, and, the girlfriend I'm fantasizing about is not real. This one. Can someone tell me the truth? My mother and stepfather are sadists and monsters. They tortured me. They pharmacologically abused me with the mega regimen of psychiatric medications, HIV PrEP, the rabies vaccine, and so on. They had nefarious intentions to traumatize and hurt me. They got off sexually. They're fiends. Dr. Natural says, your parents had good intentions. Toggle the switch to off. They didn't betray you. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. And I'm gonna go over this one too. I said to my mother how I feel lied to, abused, and how she doesn't communicate. She gaslights. And she said, "Stop trashing us. Love is shown. Talk is cheap. Look at all we do for you." I realized my mother and stepfather do a lot for me, but she didn't address the issue. Instead, she turned herself into the victim and invalidated how I felt. She didn't communicate. Is it true? Somebody says, your mother is right, you know. I guess you're right. Somebody says, your mother is the victim. Dummy. You have been bullying them for years. Well, I'll tell you, I just had a phone conversation with my mother, and I don't know. I think it's more hostile dependency. I don't think she's this innocent victim that I bully, contrary to what you're trying to say. But whatever. Yeah, I just think ultimately at this point, Chiba Chiba says a lot of people agree with Pete. I mean, people can have the right to agree with Pete, but I disagree. You can agree with Pete all you want, but I personally disagree. Dun, 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 dun. La 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 la. I mean, ultimately, even if me madre, gaslights and so on and abuses me, even if it's true, ultimately it's my responsibility to get independent. Ultimately, it's my responsibility to create a life for myself. Um, you know. Taylor says just because you feel that way doesn't make it true. No, I think she's definitely cold. She definitely stonewalls me. She definitely says hurtful things to me and treats me like I'm a moron and an idiot. And she doesn't display this on camera. All you see on camera is my reactions and my tantrums. But my mother definitely is abusive to me. She treats me very unkindly. She shows me no love. She never hugs me. I know you say she feeds you dinner. She provides you with an apartment. She provides you with the internet. She provides you with clothes and money. So how much of a monster is she really? You could be homeless in the psychiatric hospital. Things could be a lot worse. Like my mother says, look at all I do for you. But ultimately, at 37 years old, no, I feel like the reason I behave this way towards my mother is because this was her behavior that I think my mother's a covert narcissist, quite frankly. And what you're seeing from me is reactive abuse. She just conceals her narcissism basically. She really is a covert narcissist. And she puts on the facade that she's the innocent victim, but realistically I'm being abused by a narcissist. I'm the victim of narcissistic abuse. That's really what's going on here. I mean, regardless of what you may say or do, I am without a doubt the victim. You can believe otherwise, but you know, no, I am without a doubt the victim. So he says, okay, you don't have to agree with me. I mean, if you want to feel the opposite is true, good. Believe what you want to. I'm entitled to feel what I want to. I'm not. No, I'm doing actually pretty well. I'm actually doing pretty well. No, my mother's really condescending. She treats me like a simpleton. She's abusive. She yells at me. She tells me what a loser and burden I am. And eventually I have enough and I react to it. That's basically what happens. My mother has the power. My mother has the control. She's the abusive one. Um, that's the dynamic, contrary to what you may feel. It's not delusional. It's basically her gaslighting. She basically says, "Oh, you're delusional," when you're not. Basically, she's like, "If you don't like it here, then leave." It's her avoiding accountability for what she's actually doing. She's doing narcissistic baiting. She's doing abuse. She's abusing me. That's basically what's happening. It's not a delusion. I mean, obviously, living here is better than a group home, better than homelessness, better than the psychiatric hospital. My mother's a covert narcissist and an abuser and a monster and a fiend. That's exactly what she is. It's just the truth. It's just literally the truth. It's just what reality is. I mean, you can believe what you want to. I mean. I mean, should, I mean, does she have to provide me with this what she's providing me with? Absolutely not. Um, I do agree that obviously independence and lack of independence is the problem. The problem with the relationship is a hostile dependency with my mother. She's irritable and angry that she's a caretaker, and I'm irritable and angry that I'm dependent on her at 37 years old. So I definitely agree. Hostile dependency is causing a lot of animosity between me, my stepfather, and father. Nobody wants to be taking care of me like I'm this child at 37 years old. It's just hell on earth for everybody. So I think the hostile dependency and me being dependent on them is and being home. Yeah, it just no. My mother is definitely hostile, and my stepfather is definitely hostile. And so is my father. I'm not the only one who's hostile. They're basically narcissistic abusers. I mean, everybody's trying to push this erroneous narrative that I'm this, abusive monster, but it's just not true. It's just bullshit. My parents are the abusive ones most of the time. Most of the time, I'm passive in this household, and that would be confirmed and corroborated by the psychiatrists too. How I'm really the passive and powerless one in this house. I mean, you might see my tantrums on social media, but the reality is I'm reacting to my mother's covert narcissistic baiting. That's basically what I do. I'm traumatized. It's reactive abuse. I mean, you might not understand victims of narcissistic abuse, but you can try to push whatever narrative you want that I'm this mentally ill monster, but it's just not the reality. The reality is I'm the victim of narcissists. No, you're trying to push a narrative. You're trying to push the narrative, but whatever. Meva says, in my opinion, no one in this house is a sole victim. Yeah, that's for I'll agree with that. I mean, if you're trying to paint me as the monster and the perpetrator and the nefarious one, okay. I mean, I'll take some responsibility that my tantrums and reactive abuse can cause problems at times, but realistically, and my dependency on them can cause problems, but um, yeah, it's a real powder keg. I think Dr. Copland described it best, and he said it's a real powder keg. Let's see if I can find that email. By the way, let's see if I can find that email from Dr. Copland many years ago. So this is an email that I wrote in August 19th, 2017, and not a lot has changed. I said, I'm 30 years old and disabled due to mental illness. I'm always home with my mom and stepdad who don't work as well. We're all frustrated about this home environment. We're at our wits' end. They blame everything on me, even when I'm not to blame. She acts like they're the victims, even when they're not. I wish I could record my mom without her knowing. You'd agree she's nuts. I sit there silently while she yells and yells and yells at me. She tells me how I'm going to be a failure, how I torture her, how I'm going to wind up in a group home. I went for a walk to escape the hell of her yelling at me. She called me and I listened to her yell at me the whole walk. On paper, I look like the most insane one, but my mom and stepdad are much crazier. You'd be mentally ill too if you had to live with them. I've lost my teens and 20s because of them. I'm frozen with fear, but I don't want to lose my 30s too. I know I can be independent. I know I can be a huge success, but it's a crippling environment. I'm too scared to move. Someone help. And Dr. Copland said, you don't have to be a huge success to afford moving out of the house. It sounds like a powder keg, but it's your responsibility one way or another that you're there. JC. I said, you are right. This home environment is a powder keg. It's my responsibility to get independent. I talked with my mom. We're considering independent housing and group housing. I think a group setting would make me so depressed. I would likely not do well there. I know I'm capable of living independently. If forced, I can do it. I think it's the push I need. I need to get moving. Is there anything you can write so I can get a solo apartment? In the meantime, the Medicaid social worker said it takes 6 months. Perhaps we can get a rush on this. My mom said she'd help me assimilate. Thanks, Dr. Copland. See you Wednesday. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Okay.
That's for you.
All right. She's creating a facade for the video. She definitely abused me. She's playing the victim. That's exactly right. That's exactly correct, Horn Dog. She's playing the victim. She's narcissistically baiting me, then she plays the victim. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. She's not an innocent victim. She's basically like an actress. She's pretending to be the victim. All right. Well, let's change the topic, I guess. Somebody says, "Are there any vegetables in here?" No, it's no. Okay, I mean, it seems like everybody, let's change the topic, basically. No, I definitely am dependent on my mother. I definitely am dependent on her. That's for sure. I feel abused by my mother. I feel like she's ruined my life. I feel like she's tortured me premeditatedly. Horndog says you were never taught how to love. What do you mean by that, Horndog? Somebody says you feel this way because you suffer from persecutory delusions. How are you so sure they're even their delusions? How are you so sure? You don't know that. You don't know my relationship with my mother. You don't know the dynamic. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, my mother, what she broadcast, what she puts on camera. She's a phony. She's an actress. She's a monster behind her mask. I mean, you might say I'm problematic in my own right, but my mother's a phony. Somebody says, "Cool. If your mother really did abuse you, do something about it. Then get independent. Make yourself a success. If you're really abused by your mother and stepfather, do something about it. Don't stay. Close the door and don't stay dependent on people who've tortured you." Yeah, my mother definitely gaslights for the camera. But he's right. Horndog is right. I mean, the viewers aren't trained medical professionals. Um, it's false evidence appearing. Just whatever. Let's change the topic. Let's change the topic. All right. I'll be back later. I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace out.